Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Tanya Hoffman's fabulous TV show with my fabulous guest, Miss Dhylles Davis. Yay!
Hey, hi, Tanya. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You betcha. Thank you for coming on. So we're going to have a blast today. I'm so glad that y'all are here listening to the recording on live. It's going to be so much fun because I only bring in fabulous people who give you real information. Exactly. So we got to frame ourselves because we're fabulous, right? Frame yourself.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about you, Dhylles. Tell us about how fabulous you are and what you go and help others with.
I am a motivational lifestyle guru, a author, speaker, and also an online TV personality. I help people find out who they are, what they're supposed to be doing in this world, help them find peace and happiness and healing and closure and forgiveness in order for them to be able to be one with their authentic self, where they're no longer living in shame and fear and guilt of being who they are and not worrying about what other people think of them, what other people feel about them, but what they feel about themselves on the inside before they leave this earth.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And if y'all don't know, I am Tanya Hoffman, and this is my fabulous TV show. And I'm the CEO and founder of the Public Speakers Association. And I did do just what Dhylles said, get out of my own way. And we're going to talk about how did I do that? How did she do that? How can you do that today? Because until you start making a movement in your life, you really can't help your family, your friends, those people that are your clients. You've got to move yourself forward. And I always love showing people the picture of me in 2005. This was the picture of the introverted Tanya Hoffman. And people are like, no way, you were never an introvert. Proof right there. I mean, this was at a gala, and I was like, no sparkles here, baby. I don't even know what I was. Look at that hair. What was I even doing, right? And a lot of people are like, you look older then. And I'm like, I felt older then, you know, because when you're unhappy and you're poor me.
Exactly.
And I know you probably have had this experience where you just don't believe in yourself, right? You don't think, why would anyone care what I have to say? Even though I had done stuff, I didn't even value what I had done, right?
Yep, I know the feeling very well. And for me, it was pretty much just going through tumultuous years of abuse and self-inflicting wounds upon myself because of that abuse, because I thought that was love. I thought that was how I was supposed to treat myself, and that was how I was supposed to allow other people to treat me. So I gave permission and power to people to continue treating me the way I felt, which was hate, no love, no confidence, no courage, no nothing. And I was living in fear. Yeah. So I had to learn how to forgive myself first and foremost, and forgive everyone else that hurt me, and know, okay, well, you're not perfect. You've hurt people too, and take ownership of that as well.
Yeah, and I totally get why I was that way, because I think a lot of women and men, we kind of bring ourselves in to keep ourselves safe. If people are hurting you and you don't want to be hurt anymore, a lot of times you just evacuate this planet, either physically or mentally. And so I get why I had sheltered myself, because I didn't want to be hurt anymore. But then you're also not living, you're not having fun, you're not connecting with amazing people that are all out there to help you and love you. But you've got to start with yourself.
Yep. I found myself at 32 years old. And it was very uncomfortable for me to look in the mirror and say, you're beautiful, you're brilliant, you're amazing, because I was so used to saying, you're not worth anything, you're not going to amount to anything, you're fat, you're ugly, you're this, you're that. So it took me a very long time to process. I'm not a size 6, I'm a size 12 to 16, and just embrace it and own it. It took me a long time to say, well, you're a nurturer, you're a carer. It's going to take you a while to learn how to say no. But to say no, it's okay, and don't feel bad or guilty about it. It's something that needs to be done in life, because it's your right. And it just took me a long time to find my voice and use it.
Yes. You did it faster than me. It took me 38 years. So I was 38 when I was like, I have got to get over this. And what really kind of got me going is I started networking. I started actually going out and started
Oh, blab.
Meeting nice.
Oops, call got disabled. She got back on. Okay.
Alrighty, yay! So we're back in. Alrighty. So I was talking about, going to networking groups and starting to see how amazing people really are and how, you can really make a difference in your life. And that, I had to kind of own that there was going to be people out there that, weren't nice. And I couldn't change their mind to make them like me. And why would I want them to like me? I didn't like them either. So, people, right? It's like that boing is like when I started speaking, that was the catcher for me, was I'd look out in front of, 20 people and I was like, oh, John's over there and he doesn't like me, and I was like, why doesn't he like me? What can I do to change John's mind? Instead of just realizing that I didn't like John. I didn't like who he was, what he was saying. I didn't, and it was like that moment. I'm like, oh my gosh, Susie's amazing. Why am I talking to John and not Susie?
Susie.
It's, it's kind of one of those things. It was like that brilliant aha moment. Do you have one of those for yourself?
I do. I pretty much just growing up is the learned behavior and being conditioned that everyone has to like you, everybody has to love you. Sometimes you're not taught that aspect of there's going to be people in life that are not going to like you, and that's okay, because you don't have to like them either, and you don't need their approval. You just need yours.
Yeah.
And whoever's around you, those people are supposed to bring value into your life the same way you're supposed to bring value in their lives. And once I got that, then I was like, okay, well, if you don't like me, it's all good. That's what I felt back.
Whatever it is about women, because for guys, I think it's just different. And I think it's just in our DNA or whatever, I think because we want to build community. So we want everybody to be in our circle. And even for my son, he's 12, and I was talking about, you never talk about, the kids that are nice. I mean, are there guys that are nice? He goes, oh yeah. He goes, there's this group and there's this group. And he starts saying, he had never talked about the groups that weren't nice in school. And I say, well, do they bother you? And he's like, I don't care what they say. And, where my daughter would have been like, oh, Susie's not letting me in her group. And, it's like, this is reality.
I think women are they're nurturing and they're caring, and they want to give, and then you overgive and overextend so much, and you don't have no time for yourself.
Totally
So
get that.
it's just learning the art of balancing being selfish and selfless. And once I learned that, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever.
So, did you have a tip or something that you would like to give everyone how to do that? And maybe we could talk a little bit about, helping people kind of move past that issue of everyone liking them.
I think you just have to own who you are, embrace everything about you, your flaws, your imperfections, knowing that you're not perfect, and being able to be comfortable in that and love you for all of that you are, personally and professionally, and just knowing that in this world, people like you, people won't. And just
Yeah.
learn how to swallow that pill. And once you swallow that pill, then everything else will be all right. But it takes time.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight, because especially with family, sometimes family, you don't have family support because they're not where you are, and you
Right.
want them so desperately to support you and like you and be there for you, and sometimes that's not the case. So it's just learning how to swallow that pill and just embrace them where they are and just continue on your path, because we all have different paths in life.
Yes. Well, for a lot of people, I have that big issue, right? Where, you've got, as you're starting to develop yourself, because it's all personal development. And you've got all these groups of people who don't like you. And they could be very vocal about how much they don't like you, right? And so you're like, why are they going around telling people, and, there's these moments, and people call it thick skin.
Yep.
You have to get a thick skin. And I don't think it's really about thick skin. I think it's more about just coming to that comfort level that those people aren't your peeps,
Yep, exactly.
For my organizations, I used to own business networking groups across the state of Texas, and I've sold both of those. And now I have the Public Speakers Association. And I remember in 2007, I started my first rule. And that rule was you have to be nice. No mean, grumpy, negative people ever allowed. And It was brilliant. And I'll tell you two things why. So one of them is it kept out the meaners, right? They're like, oh, Tanya's got that silly rule. Great, you don't like my rules, it's not a fit for you.
And it weeded out so many people that did not belong.
So many people. It was brilliant. It was like one of those, I have a good idea, and then look at it work, And the other thing that happened that I wasn't expecting is that when someone wasn't being nice, we would have that conversation. And I remember the very first conversation, and it was like this, kind of moment, right? There was a lady, oh my gosh, she was really wonderful. She was really actually nice. But every time you met her, you were like, hey, what's up? She's like, little cloud, right? She was like, wow, this happened.
Oh my gosh.
Kids, and it was just horrible to be around her.
But
and people started,
energy.
And so people around me was like, Tanya, you need to talk to, her. She's not following your rule. And so I pulled her aside, and this was what happened. So I did a whole little exercise. It was in a networking group, and I did this little exercise about how you have to be nice and how you have to help, and you got to walk in with a positive face, and you got to have positive words coming out of your mouth. Because I used to do it. Everyone, I think, used to be that way.
Stage, yeah.
Yeah. Wah, wah, wah. People ask you a question and you give them the real answer,
The woe is me, the pity party.
And so what was brilliant is I went over this whole thing, and she walked up to me afterwards. She goes, I just can't handle those negative ninnies. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was just like, she didn't even get the clue, right? And I grabbed her shoulders and I was like, Pam, we're talking about you. And you should have seen the shock in her face. She goes, She goes, I'm one of the nicest people I know. I'm like, you are very nice, but you are wearing people out because of your negativity. She goes, I am not negative. I'm like, I didn't think I would ever hear from her again. And I got an email from her that night, and she goes, I really had to do some self-evaluation when you told me that. And from that moment on, she would walk in with a smile. How are you doing? And she'd be like, yay. And from then on, her business soared. She soared. People wanted to be around her. It was like this total turnaround.
Yeah, I believe in energy. I believe in positive and negative energy. And I believe the energy that you put out into the universe is what you attract. Is definitely what you attract. And a lot
Well,
of
and a
people
lot of
don't know
people
that.
they don't know what the image, they don't see the mirror of themselves,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so every time, about 90% of the people who I have to have the talk to about
Mm-hmm.
being not nice
Mm-hmm.
don't know that they're not being nice.
Because they're on the inside looking out. They're not on the outside looking in. So sometimes it's hard for you to get that loving, constructive criticism from someone that's around you that wants the best for you. For you to
Yeah.
stomach that and say, "Damn, like, am I really like that? Is that how I am in person?" Like, oof, that's it. It blows your mind away. Like,
Yeah.
really, I've been doing this for a very long time, and nobody has pulled me to the side and told me this.
I know, right? And I feel, and at first I was like, but now it's kind of like that mission, hey, what are you doing?
Right.
You're self-sabotaging yourself and you don't even know it.
Mm-hmm. That word is such a huge word, especially I think with a lot of women, the self-sabotage, and they become so comfortable in it, and they just bask in it for whatever reason, because they just don't want to step out on faith.
Yeah.
They don't want to take that risk to just do what it is that they need to do, that they know deep down in their heart they're supposed to be doing.
Well, and I think too, with a lot of people, when you're just in everyday, you get into everyday mode. And then when you start connecting to people, especially like in a networking environment where you're going and seeing the same people, or at work, if you're going to a job, you're seeing the same people and you're building a friendship with them. And so you feel like you've crossed a line where you can be real.
Exactly.
But there's a level of realism that you don't cross.
Exactly.
There's some things you share and then other things you just don't,
Creating that boundary of just having that respect of not knowing exactly what to say and how to say it.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't realize social media, right? What they're saying on social media.
Some people have no filter on social media whatsoever. And it's like, okay, well, that potential organization, company, job, whatever, is looking at your stuff and saying, okay, this person seemed very nice to me, but now I'm reading their posts, and it's like, no, that's not somebody I want to associate myself with.
Yeah, exactly. There was a lady she's brilliant. She's a life coach and she really does really great work. But on social media, she became a radical fighting for the rights of animals. And she would show these horrific pictures of kittens. And I was like, what are you doing? Right? And her business went crashing. Right? And she didn't correlate the two. She goes, oh, Tanya, I'm struggling. I don't understand. I'm like, did you look at what you're posting on social media? Yeah. She goes, yeah, but if people don't know, they're not going to be able to react. I'm like, I get that, but this is your world. This is your business. And you've got to decide which world do you want to be in, because you can't be in both.
And when you start rubbing the people the wrong way, then they start telling other people, and they start telling other people, and it looks bad on your business.
Exactly.
But it's something I definitely had to learn too. So before I post stuff, I make sure I say, okay, is this going to sit well with people? How are they going to feel about it when they're reading it? And I put myself in other person's shoes, like my supporters and my followers. How are they going to find this to be? And that's how I deal with that.
Yeah, even the conversations you have with people, going in with not just, I want to, see how we can connect and stuff, but actually going in with a mission to help and then asking for help in return.
Yep, that's true.
So, is everything good?
Yep, hold on one second.
Okay.
What's up?
Well, he's cute.
You can actually, you can walk to the mailroom, keep going straight down, you'll see it on the side. Yeah, he has long hair. He has long hair too.
Nice. I love it when people are like, we're doing something and we're doing something else at the same time, like multitasking.
Yeah.
It's kind of a reality world,
It is. I am definitely multitasking. I try to break out that habit sometimes, but it's like, okay, well, I can do this. Let me just get out of the way.
Exactly. Well, and a lot of times people they use those excuses for not doing it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, oh, well, I'm at work, I can't pull aside, or I can't do, and there's always an excuse for why you're not going to do it.
Because to me, I think people make excuses and procrastinate because the greatness is in them, but is not in them at the same time because of the doubt.
Yeah.
A
Yes.
lot of doubt. Like, I mean, yes, I'm at work, but everyone pretty much knows here what I do. It's no secret.
Yeah.
I don't hide it. I'm respectful about it, but I don't hide it because it's me. It's everything that encompasses me because I own it. And I'm very comfortable in everything that I'm doing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, and it's like what we've been talking about with, the negative people and being comfortable that you don't have to deal with them, and you can move on past them. And I think a lot of times you've pushed a button in them. There's something that makes them uncomfortable, which is why they're having the issue, right?
It does. I think I was telling him to go to the mailroom because I'm not sure who this goes to. Yeah, so either Tim or Charlie. Yeah. Sorry. Work.
Right.
I think you can relate to this. Do you know, like, when you're the go-to person for everything? Because everyone feels like you know everything and you have the answers. That's what happens to me here.
Which is a good thing. You want to be the answer person, but yet, there's sometimes you're like, can we turn that switch off? No.
It's the truth. It's true.
That's why I tell you, one of the most brilliant things that happens, say like at the public speakers conference, right? It's full of coaches. So if you've got a problem, you go someplace like that, they have to wear their coach's hat. So you just ask them a question, they're going to answer you because that's what we do. We're like, oh, I know what to do. You need to do this and this and this. And you get everything answered for free, basically.
Oh, okay. I have to think about that the next time I go to one. No?
Exactly. I always ask the top experts because for women, sometimes guys, it depends. But for most people, you just ask them a question and they can't help but answer.
Yep.
And those that don't, you just kind of move on and you find someone else. But, most people are really, really helpful. And, it's different if you're just asking a question, you're going to go do it yourself versus asking a question where you want them to do all the work. You have to pay them to do that.
Yeah, of course. Like I always say, I don't mind sharing information because I feel like it's community and not competition. And but there's a line where you have to draw where sharing information is concerned. If it's a venue space or a group like such as your beautiful organization, I would recommend somebody to join. Little things like that. But when it comes to something more in depth, then yes, you go into pricing and services and fees and so on and so forth. But just to share information, I don't think anyone should be rejected from getting the information that they're looking for.
Right. People always are like, Tanya, you're just so helpful. I shot you an email and you answered it. And I'm like, if I can, and I could do it in an email or a text or something, or just a quick phone call, let's do it. Exactly. Let's get it over with. Let's move you on. But then there's sometimes you got to invest in yourself. You got to do some investing in your business.
In order for it to grow, because if you and I are investing in our business and we're taking the proper steps to do so, then everyone else that wants to ride this wave or go on this journey, they have to take the proper initiative and integrity within themselves to do the same exact thing. Yeah.
Well, and this is what I found, because I used to be this way, so I can really relate with people. They're starting a business. $100 is a lot of money. I get it. Am I going to feed my family or am I going to use this $100? So you have to be very careful with your money when you're starting. And I totally get it. But you have to invest the money wisely. Yep. And you've got to invest where you're going to make the money back. And that's where most people don't understand. You've got to invest in yourself, in your personal development, because if you don't personally develop yourself, you're never going to do anything for your business. And that's where people, they have a hard time letting go of the money because
Mm-hmm.
they're so afraid the money is never going to come back. And if you're always afraid the money's never going to come back, it won't.
It won't. Exactly. And it's just looking at things in different ways, because being a life coach and a speaker, I look at what other coaches do, and, I draw inspiration from that, and I just get very creative. Like, okay, I'm in New York City. What do people in New York City want? What do they need? What are they looking for?
Yeah.
And I go that route. And I just make
Right.
sure I just stay in that creative mind frame on a daily basis, because there's so many different things going on here in New York. And I have to ask myself, okay, as a guest or consumer or customer, what is it that I'm bringing to people that they're going to want to spend the money
Yes.
or come to an event?
Because, well, people with, especially you start a business and you're
Mm-hmm.
wanting to increase it,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to look at, and that's why speaking is so brilliant, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
get 20 people, 100 people, 5 people in front
Yep.
of you, and the odds go up really quickly that someone that you're speaking to is going to buy your product or your service.
Exactly.
And it's so effective that multiple reasons, you are the expert standing at the front.
Mm-hmm.
So it already warms up the audience to you as someone that they need to buy from.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I got over being so shy and introverted and got out of my way, because I would shake and shiver and sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was awful. And thank goodness I got over that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
People,
easy,
it's not easy, but once people trust, believe, and they know what you're saying to be true and take at face value, they're always going to come, and they're going to have more people come. And it's just being relatable and transparent and honest, and letting them know, you know what, I've been there, I know where you are, and this is what I did from got to point A to point Z. These are the tips, these are suggestions. This is what that may help you. It's something that you might want to consider to try. You never know until you try.
Well, and we're so self-focused when we start speaking, right? Oh, I might have my teeth, or my teeth aren't right, or my nose is too big, or whatever we wanted to talk about as the excuse, that the people are focused on. They don't care about your nose.
They
They don't care about your teeth. They don't care if you got something in your teeth. It might be annoying, but they don't care. They are self-conscious about themselves, and they only want the things that it's going to help them.
They want the message that resonates within them to allow them to go and conquer their world.
It took me forever to get over that. Exactly. It took me forever to learn that.
I was telling somebody, I was having a conversation with with the person one day, and it was something that I said in an interview that made them upset. And she was like, well, how do you think you made me look to others? And I said, you know what, honestly, people really don't care about me. People don't care about you. People care about the fact that they're going through the same situation that I went through, and they want to know how I got from point A to point C. That's all they want to know. They're not going to call me and be like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that about such and such. They don't care.
Right. Exactly. And I've never been good at lying anyways. It's terrible. You ask me about someone, you'll see what I think just by asking. It's horrible. Don't ever ask me about people. But it's kind of that reality of just kind of being authentic. The words I think overused, but it's true. You just got to come up as yourself, and those who resonate with you will resonate back, right?
Exactly.
And those who don't will go away. Yay!
Exactly.
Stop trying to conquer the entire world and conquer your community, the people that you want to build.
Yeah. And we're in each other's lives for a reason, and you sometimes, like the saying goes, reason, season, and lifetime.
Exactly.
And you have a choice. You have a choice if who you want to stay in your life and who you want to detach from.
Exactly. And the reality too is that you've got to be aware of what isn't working and adjust quickly. And that's another reason for speaking. It's the perfect small business way of doing market research. You get that whole room of people and you immediately find out what they like, what they don't like, what they resonate with, what words that they're resonating with, what they don't. These are the things that's going to make the biggest difference.
Exactly. It's the truth. And you can see people's expression, when you're speaking, what you're saying, if it resonates with them, if it doesn't, if it annoys them, if it doesn't. And it helps you in that aspect.
I know I used to use the word annoy. And because I always tell people, you go to a coffee shop, set up shop, right? Set up so that you have interviews coming in, people appointments, and then just talk just loud enough where you annoy everyone around you. And people really didn't like that. And I had to finally stop saying it because it wasn't, even though it was the truth, it was the word. So I just started changing it, and say, yeah, you just want people to hear you so they eavesdrop easier. So sometimes, you've got to adjust. Just because you like it doesn't mean everyone else is going to like it.
It's the truth. It's the truth. And it's just definitely being mindful, but I actually understand what you're saying when you say that.
Exactly. So tell us, how can people get hold of you? Do you have a special offer today that you would like to give them?
Yeah, I'm doing a singles couple sip and chat with me and my husband on February 20th, which is a Saturday, and I'm doing a buy one get one half off sale. So if you buy a ticket, it's $40 per person, and it's food and drinks, appetizers, raffles, and prizes. So if you buy a ticket, you get one half off to bring a friend. For a couple, it's $60, but if you buy another one for a couple, it's $30 for that ticket.
Nice.
So that's what I'm offering on February 20th. So it's going to be my husband. We're just going to talk about relationships in general, relationship with yourself and relationship with your partner, and how to communicate better and have those uncomfortable conversations. So you can find it on Dhylles, DHYLLES.com. And you can look me up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Dhylles. I'm the only Dhylles that's on there. So DHYLLES, and you're good to go.
Perfect. Yeah, make sure you get her name spelled right. It's with the H. So DHY, 2 L's, double LES.com.
Correct.
And for everybody that's listening, I would love for you to be involved with the Public Speakers Association. Go to Public Speakers with an S, association.com. You can find Dhylles there, spell her name right.
Yep.
You can find me there. You can do assessments. We've got a game. We've got all kinds of things for you to take advantage of. And we want to help you start to change the world from the front of the room. So get involved. We would love to connect with you. Also, you could go to TanyaHoffman.com /win, WIN / or just go to Tanya Hoffman. It's right under there. Well, I've got a contest every month where you could win an hour coaching with me, which is $1,000 value. So go on there and sign up for the contest. Remember, Tanya is with an O, Hoffman, because my husband's family doesn't know how to spell it right, is with one F like Frank and 2 N's like Nancy. So get it spelled right. All righty, everybody. Thank you, Dhylles, for being on today. I appreciate it.
Take care.
All right, everybody. We will see you next time. Bye.